In the last step, we saw how social media trained your brain to switch quickly instead of staying focused. Now let's understand why short content is especially powerful and why it makes long focus feel difficult, even painful. At the center of this problem is a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is often misunderstood. It is not the chemical of pleasure, it is the chemical of anticipation. Dopamine is released when your brain expects a reward, not when it receives it. Social media platforms are designed to trigger this anticipation over and over again. Every time you scroll, your brain thinks, maybe the next thing will be better. That maybe is dopamine. Short videos and quick posts amplify this effect because they deliver rewards rapidly and unpredictably. Sometimes the content is boring, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's shocking. This unpredictability keeps dopamine high and your attention locked to the screen. Psychology calls this variable reward conditioning. It is the same mechanism used in slot machines. You don't know when the reward is coming, so your brain keeps checking. The problem is not dopamine itself. Dopamine is essential for learning, motivation, and survival. The problem is constant stimulation without effort. Your brain starts to associate reward with speed and ease. When rewards come quickly and require no effort, the brain loses tolerance for slow processes. Reading a long article, watching a full lecture, or working deeply on one task no longer provides enough stimulation to compete with scrolling. This is where attention fragmentation begins. Fragmented attention means your focus is broken into small pieces. You can pay attention for a few seconds, maybe a minute, but not long enough to enter deep concentration. Your brain keeps looking for an exit, a shortcut, or a faster reward. This is why many people feel an urge to check their phone, even while doing something important. The task itself hasn't changed, your brain's reward system has. Short content also trains the brain to expect instant context. Everything is explained quickly. Nothing requires patience. Over time, the brain stops practicing the skill of holding incomplete information. If something doesn't make sense immediately, the brain disengages. Psychologists have observed that this reduces cognitive endurance. Cognitive endurance is the ability to stay mentally engaged even when something is challenging or unclear. Without this endurance, learning becomes shallow, and focus collapses under pressure. Another hidden effect is emotional regulation. Short content creates rapid emotional shifts, laugh, shock, anger, excitement, sometimes within seconds. Your nervous system doesn't get time to stabilize. This constant emotional movement increases mental restlessness. A restless nervous system struggles to focus. You may notice that after long scrolling sessions, your mind feels noisy. Thoughts jump. Silence feels uncomfortable. This is not because your mind is full of ideas. It is because it has not slowed down long enough to process anything. The brain needs pauses to consolidate information and restore attention. Short content removes those pauses. It fills every gap. Waiting becomes scrolling. Stillness becomes stimulation. Over time, boredom disappears, and that is dangerous for focus. Boredom is not a problem. It is a reset state. When the brain is bored, it either rests or creates. But when boredom is avoided at all costs, the brain never resets. Attention stays shallow and reactive. This is why long focus feels exhausting now. It is not that you cannot focus. It is that your brain is experiencing dopamine withdrawal when stimulation slows down. The discomfort you feel during focus is your brain asking for the fast rewards it has become used to. Understanding this is critical. The pain of focusing is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is changing. In the next step, we'll look at how constant multitasking, notifications, and information overload keep your brain in a permanent alert state, and why an alert brain cannot sustain attention for long.